Okay, as I mentioned in previous videos, I am a big Star Trek fan, have been for a really long time. I've not done a ton of Star Trek gaming, although I used to play the TNG card game, the collectible card game. Played a lot of that when that was coming out and really enjoyed it. I think I still have my card somewhere, probably in storage somewhere. Anyway, but I have the FASA game, which I mentioned in the previous video, but the FASA game really captures the vibe of Trek that I am particularly into. That late 70s, early 80s, post original series, but like moving into the motion picture era. I really like that whole kind of thing. And I just want to make sure this is actually recording. It is. Okay. So I have this, and I have a bunch of books for it. I don't have everything. I mean, there was a lot. FASA put out a lot of books for it, but I have a bunch. And I always figured if I ran it again, I would run it with Over the Edge Second Edition, which is a great system that worked phenomenally well for Star Trek. But, I also, at some point or other, I had picked up the Last Unicorn games books. I had most of what came out from Last Unicorn. So, original series, Next Gen, Deep Space Nine. The Voyager one, I think, was in the works when they lost the license or shut down or whatever happened to Last Unicorn games. I don't remember. But I don't know if I'd have picked up. I never liked Voyager from the first episode, and I don't know if I would have picked up the Voyager game had it come out, even being a Trek completist that I was at the time. But I had this, and I held on to this one. I'm actually in the process probably of giving away my TNG DS9 stuff, or moving it on in some way or other. But I may hold on to my original series stuff, just using the source material, all that sort of thing. It's my Trek, it's my vibe. All that. Say that I finally bit the bullet. I've thought about this for a long time. They did the second edition. Hopefully, I mean, they've kept the license for quite a while. It's always the problem with licensed products that the license can dry up so suddenly, and all this effort they've put into it just goes away, and it drives me nuts. It just happened recently with Conan. Again, it happens with a lot of these games, and Trek has been in several people's hands over the years, but I'll give it a go. I'm also really curious about the Star Trek Captain's Log, I think it's called. It's the solo rules. I've thought about picking that up. Now, this is 2D20. I've heard this is one of the better implementations of 2D20. It has a bunch of these. I like the color. Apologies, I don't know what's going on with my voice today, but it's starting to go out again. We have a rule book. I think it's rules. Campaign booklet. It's got cool art. I'd say not a ton of art, but it's not bad. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the rules booklet. Now, I believe that Star Trek Adventures gives you the opportunity to play in multiple timelines. We even have Lower Decks. I want to say Below Decks, but I think that's a reality TV show. Lower Decks, which that was a show I really didn't like at first. The first season, I would say I really didn't like, but I did keep with it. And actually, from the second season on, I really enjoyed the show. Although I will say the final season, the fifth season, was really frustrating because I believe they went into that season knowing it was going to be their final season, but the writing the whole year felt like they were trying to set up for a future season. So I'm like, well, if you know it's going to be your last, why aren't you wrapping it up? Why are you making it seem like there's going to be more? I don't know if it was a ploy to get a movie deal or try to get a season on another network. I don't know, but whatever the case. Okay, we've got cardboard tokens for various things. I don't know what they're used for, but a lot of them seem to already have popped out. And then, let me see if I can get these out of here without dumping them all over the floor. At least I don't have any dogs with me today, so they're not going to try to eat anything. These are kind of not quite cardstock, but close. Looks like a ship, pre-generated characters. We got, are these like little adventures? Yeah. Like random charts, or as an option, use these breaches tables to generate thematic descriptions and traits for breaches affecting damaged ships' systems. Okay. Attempting a starship attack. So these are like supplemental rules cards, I guess. Attempting an attack. Core mechanic summary. So I guess you could have these out on the table so that people don't all need their own books, maybe. And yeah, so we have, looks like probably a Psy, the way he's touching his side of his head. I don't know if he's a Tenon. I'm not sure. Oh, Betazoid. Okay. Betazoid Starfleet officer. Human Starfleet officer. Another human. Tellarite. Vulcan. Andorian. And Trill. Okay. And this is this the Enterprise, or is this this is the Challenger? Okay. Cool. Anyway, that's Star Trek Adventures and some of the bits and bobs. It looks like a lot of these have just popped out at some point during transit. I don't know what the cardboard tokens are used for, but I'm sure that's in the rules, so we'll find out. I wonder if there's some kind of, like a meta currency, like luck tokens for some things, although the fact that they're alerts makes me think that's not the case. What's on the other side? Just this symbol, which I honestly don't know what that is. I am a long-time Star Trek fan, but I have not religiously followed Trek. I feel like a lot of fandoms, I am on the periphery of a lot of fandoms. Like I still kind of pay attention to Star Wars. I still kind of pay attention to Star Trek, but if I don't like something, I don't like it. I muscled through a couple seasons of Discovery, kept hoping it was going to get better, but I think I hated every single character on that show, and that may be a first. Usually there's one character that I really don't like, or maybe a couple that wear thin. On my rewatch of Next Gen, I couldn't stand Troy. And on my rewatch of Enterprise, it was Mayweather, who, like, on paper should be such a great character because he loves space and he's so excited about being out in space, and that's like where I'm at. But the writing for him was awful, and he was just so annoying through the whole series. So there's always like one, but on Discovery, it was everybody. I mean, I didn't like Michelle Yeoh on Discovery, and that is the first time since I saw her in Super Cop where I wasn't a huge fan of Michelle Yeoh. I've loved Michelle Yeoh since, the 90s. And I absolutely hated her on Discovery. Like I just couldn't stand her performance, hated her character, was just awful. It's genuinely impressive. Like how can you make a show that's that bad? But I thought it looked great, but it was a terrible show, in my opinion. This is my opinion. But I'm a big Trek fan, so I would love to get some Trek gaming going on. I think it's just such a wonderful universe. I like the optimistic element of it. I mentioned in when I was talking about the quick start, that one of the things I like about Trek, and it's why I sometimes tune out on stuff like DS9, I don't like mysticism in my Star Trek. I like Star Trek as a secular humanist, atheistic, optimistic future. And that, to me, is when it's at its best, which is most of the original series and big chunks of Next Gen. And then it kind of fell off. I feel like maybe I think it's maybe Ronald D. Moore, who, I think had some great ideas and stuff, but I think it was sort of his influence, because you also sort of see it in, you do see it in Battlestar Galactica, which isn't out of place in Battlestar Galactica, since there was so much Mormon spirituality in the original series. So, okay. But putting so much spirituality and mysticism into Star Trek, especially in Deep Space Nine, just never sat well with me. It didn't sit well with me before I even understood what that meant. And I think I was still even... I think when DS9 was coming out, I would still have considered myself a religious person. So it was not like it was bothering me because of that. It was bothering me because it didn't feel right in Star Trek. And I still feel that. Anyway. But we'll see. We'll take a look at it. I'm really curious. I'm really curious to see a version that I've heard of the 2D20 mechanics that's supposed to be much better. And I'd love to get some Star Trek going. Where are you with Star Trek? Seems like Paramount is floundering once again. The studios and the streaming stations, they're all, we get back to, is it Cory Doctorow's enshittification, which I feel like it's infecting every aspect of our life these days. And I think Star Trek may be the latest victim. It seems like everybody's talking about Strange New Worlds ending, even though I thought they were cleared through 5 seasons, and I think it's just the 3rd season that's about to come out. But I think there's some talk that the 3rd season might be the last season now. I don't know. That would be a real bummer, because I think Strange New Worlds is the best Trek since the original series. I'm just going to come right out and say it. And I think that, I've said before about TNG that you could probably assemble a season's worth of episodes of TNG that are great, and 2 seasons worth that are okay. And then there's at least a season's worth of episodes that are genuinely terrible. And then the rest would just be sort of filler, episodes that happened and you're like, I like the cast. Okay. But there's probably only 1 season of really great episodes, which is for a 7-season, 22 to 24, I think, episode per season. That's not a great track record, to be honest. But, still, some good stuff. Don't know where I was going with that, only to say that, I think that Strange New Worlds is great, and I would like to get some Trek gaming going on. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Until next time, I have no idea what that's going to look like. Actually, I think when this posts, I'm going to post these on Mondays, maybe the free RPG days, and this one. There will still be some other videos that I've already scheduled as of a few weeks ago. So we'll see. Those will be Fridays. Until next time, take care.